Hello comic fans, here's Earl Grey. In panellogy 233 decades ago, I once showed you my collection of different versions of Killing Jokes in different languages, different formats whatsoever. An attempt that will never be achieved to collect each and every version of the Killing Joke, but I have collected quite a few. Here you can see just a fraction of it. From the smallest one, this mini comic one that I've showed you in panellogy 233. This is the normal sized German version, and you already see, if you haven't ever known about this obscure story of the Killing Joke, that it is a quite short story, and it's a very important one nevertheless. I keep this here for size comparison. And here, this is a gift from Miko, aka Analog Comics. He sent me this fantastic, oversized, actually pretty, very oversized Finnish version. So I have now the Finnish Killing Joke, which is great. So, and I can't remember if the Batman Noir, I guess it was after my last video, I'll put it here, and the Absolute Edition, and here's an even bigger sized German edition of the Killing Joke. It came with a foil. I put this aside. I just want to show you that this was the biggest version of the Killing Joke so far. But now it's all dwarfed by this luxurious tome, which is somehow a bit misleading, titled The Killing Joke. The title of the tome here, Brian Bolland, The Killing Joke, is maybe the only thing that I would criticize because, the story, The Killing Joke, it's just 46 pages. And so nowhere near all the stuff in this book could be Killing Joke related. So maybe this thing should be called the Brian Bolland Artist Edition or something like this. Obviously they thought with the title The Killing Joke this thing would sell easier, but I guess it will be sold easy as hot pie regardless of the insane price tag. So let's flip a bit through this book, and spoilers, as you could guess, it's just gorgeous. Here's an introduction by Richard Starkings and by Bob Chapman, and here starts the real stuff with translucent papers, so you can enjoy the title drawing of the Joker with or without the text and the title. And you can already see here some of the different cover designs that made me this Killing Joke collector. One of the aspects that made me collecting all the different Killing Joke versions. Written obviously by Alan Moore, illustrated by Brian Bolland. So here we have the very first page of the Killing Joke in two versions. And I first thought, hey, what's the use? We have something called the original format, and then they blew it up. Why they did so? And then I realized that the width almost has not changed from left to right, but the height. So he changed the dimensions of the comic and the process. And this is very interesting because I think it's the better version. These higher panels just add to the Gothicness of the thing. You know, the old Gothic cathedrals, the higher the better. So maybe that's just my weird association, but this really looks a bit like it was cropped after the fact, but it seems that it's the other way around. And when you compare it to the published comic, you definitely see that this version is the one that was printed. So it's a great thing that they include the first version here, and it goes some pages here, over some pages, that he first drew it obviously in this fashion, and afterwards he elongated this in terms of the height, added here a bit of piece and there, and after a while he obviously changed the whole stuff here into this more higher format. Fascinating, really fascinating, and even though the width is changed here a bit. And aside of the changed panel format, there are some other little modifications that Brian Bolland did, like for instance he changed the shape of the tree here. So these twigs here aren't there on the left hand side. Has to do something obviously with the change of format, so he felt the need that some twigs on top of the panel have to be added. Yeah, and you can see the way he did this. So this is great. Honestly, I saw this just on a second view. In the first view I thought original format, what's the use? And here again added the bat ears there. So it's right from the get-go a great start to this great book here. Still, I would recommend, if you want to see The Killing Joke in a decent size, I mean this is really rather more than decent, this is comic book size, so if you want to enjoy the Joker in a decent size for a decent price, the Batman Noir collection is, this is the German version. So, I mean, this is great, yeah. But in this absolute format, it's even bigger and more fantastic, of course. So, but we come very soon to the end. Some pages they had to work without the original art. Yeah, two or three pages, I don't know. And here we have a page with the original colors by John Higgins, which is great because John Higgins' coloring was just amazing. And for me, after a lot of pro and con and so on, I think this is just the better version than Brian Bolland's own version. He redid the coloring because he wasn't satisfied with this coloring. But I think this psychedelic coloring adds so much to the picture of the psycho comic. However, this is not the topic here. Here you can see these foils to create structure there, there and there. Yeah, I rush a bit through The Killing Joke because we have lots more of stuff to cover here. So, and that's the end of The Killing Joke and The Killing Joke Artist Edition. And I hope you can see here not only that the binding is real good, builds an eye and all that, but that's just the part of The Killing Joke. And the rest is bonus material. Or what I would call the Brian Bolland Artist Edition, with sci-fi stuff, relatively a lot more process stuff. You can see here erasings and corrections and all that nice stuff, which is a big reason to get these Artist Edition. So here is art for an issue of The Outsiders. Stuff that I've never seen before. Actually, I thought that I would get the usual Brian Bolland stories that were reprinted in many shapes and formats to bolster up these different Killing Joke versions. But this is, for me at least, stuff that I've never seen before. This kind of the Frog Queen, oh, the Princess and the Frog, sorry, and which is the most sexy version of the Princess and the Frog I've ever seen, I guess. The Prince and the Witch, and yeah, this is here, this Batman Black and White story. This has been reprinted over and over again in these Killing Joke collections. It's a great example of Brian Bolland's art, nevertheless. But I'm really glad that I could see stuff like this here, Green Arrow versus Black Canary, and Black Canary versus the Batman. Again, with lots of yellowing due to the paper quality or corrections, and you have to look close. I assume that when you watch this on your monitor, you would not get all the details, like these glued in parts, the line marks of the movement of the marker that you can see in a lot of pages here and there when you look closely. And what an insane panel, an unbelievable panel that would never worked with lesser talent than Brian Bolland. And cover gallery, we're not even a third through this tome here. Plastic Man, Green Lantern, and we have translucent papers in between whenever it makes kind of sense. For an example, here there's some soldier. She has a female body, but yeah, her head looks very similar to the rest of the bunch here, so he changed it afterwards. And this is an original pencil drawing. Not really the original, obviously a facsimile, like the whole book here. Else I would be a rich man. I've never read Camelot 3000 because I wasn't too intrigued by the premise of the story. But when I look at these cover designs here, they are really great. Like all Brian Bolland's covers, we will come to a longer section with covers for Animal Man, which I have read, obviously, and enjoyed very much the covers by Brian Bolland. And these are just great. I guess this is the cover for this Coyote story, which is one of the best stories ever written. Yeah, it's really a joy, and yeah, I have to skip a bit faster through this tome. Here. We're still in the section with the covers for Animal Man, and this is a direct homage to romantic painting by one Johann Heinrich Füssli, The Nightmare, Der Nachtalb, and yeah, pretty famous painting, and his version is really funny in that regard. I mean, it's creepy as well, but the original painting is pretty creepy as well, as far as yeah, paintings from, I guess, the 19th century ago. So, lots of stuff that I've never seen in this format here, or even in black and white, or at all, because because it seems there are a lot of variant covers and stuff like that as well. Here's even one of these fold-outs to showcase one double-page spread, on the back side another. Amazing stuff, especially when you think that this man has done in the last 25 years only art with the computer. So this is, with few exceptions, I mean, somehow maybe they smuggled some of his computer drawings into this tome, but for 99.9% it's good old pencil and ink stuff. It's, look at this picture. Never seen this Joker and Batman and the cat picture, and beautiful. This is another Animal Man cover. A wonderful book to behold. So this seems to be another of these fold-outs. Let's look. From the Vertigo Winter Edge. I have seen this picture, but I wasn't aware, I guess, that this was from Brian Bolland as well. So, yeah, and on it goes. I just showed you a fraction of this beautiful book here. And even if it may not contain as much process stuff as I would wish, it's still a glorious book, hands down. Absolutely worth the insane amount of money. Look at these colors here. And here you see definitely a process stuff, and there are here as well. This is really great. Great example. How even black areas, you can see how he differs and how he moves with his drawing there, how he did the drawing. And there are, of course, the pencil drawings that you got with many Killing Joke special editions that we got over the last couple of years here. And even another John Higgins color template for coloring the book. And more pencil drawings. And the book is closed by a biography of Mr. BB, Brian Bolland, and that's it. The thickest book in terms of artist edition, the biggest of my Killing Joke books so far, I'm afraid. I'm really curious what they will pull out next to milk the Brian Bolland / Killing Joke cash cow. But what can I say? I'm just a victim in this regard. So from one victim to a lot of other victims, I think. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.